everybody, this is Yael and I'm here to bring you the weekly message of the Divine Feminine to her beloved for the week of April. I don't know why April keeps popping up in my head. For the week of March 19th through the 25th. Okay, so anyway, I have 7 cards laid out here today. And I know I usually lay out a 5-card spread, but I was guided to do this 7-card spread because 777s keep appearing for me. And that usually tells you that you're on the right path, and that, you know, it's like a ghost signal from the divine to just forge on ahead. So anyway, I don't know if this will keep. We'll see if I'm guided to do the same next week. But anyway, that's why I have 7 cards laid out here, just in case you were wondering. Okay, so anyway, at the bottom of the deck we have here this would be the general energies of the reading. We have here the World card, and the World card signifies a completion, and this would be the energies of the Divine Feminine. Okay, especially now we have the equinox energies. The equinox gateway has opened, and there's an influx of light. And I did talk about my personal experiences during meditation in the Twin Flame Weekly video, and some visions of Yeshua that occurred close by to where I am. So do check that out if you are just in the habit of just watching the messages. I highly suggest to watch the Twin Flame video as well for this week. Anyway, here, this pertains to this ascension wave that this equinox gateway has brought us. And for a lot of divine feminines, they have come to the completion of that phase of their ascension journey, where now they're able to help and assist others achieve that level of stability in 5D. And it's not only in 5D, there are more dimensions up to the 12th and even beyond. But we get to the next dimensions by mastering the dimension prior and gaining access to those dimensions. So this is the World card for the Divine Feminine. And you can see here the next card is the 10 of Pentacles. And we see here an octopus and some children playing. No, they're half children, half octopus. Okay? And the octopus, one of the most ancient creatures, marine creatures that we have. They date back several thousands of years. Okay, and also very, very smart, very intelligent. They're highly intuitive in the sense that they can, you remember that octopus who was able to predict the results of the World Cup? I think his name was Ernie, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know if my recollection is correct. But see here, this intuition, this connection with the divine feminine now is able to manifest that, whatever gifts she has, okay, or whatever access that she has in the other dimensions, she's able to bring that down into the 3rd dimension, or her physical reality, which is why it works for her. She's able to translate that into her own abundance. Okay, and then we have the 7 of, this is Wands. The 7 of Wands, and you can see here this picture of several islands here, and they're all connected by ladders. But the woman here is sitting on the topmost island. And what this is saying is that this talks about the ascension journey, the spiritual journey of the Divine Feminine. She keeping her vibrations high. But this is what she had to go through. It's not instantaneous that you get from 1 to 10 straight out. It's not a straight jump. For some, they have been on this journey for years, and a lot of those years, they weren't even aware that they were on this ascension journey. But now she's at a vantage point wherein she can see what she has gone through and how it has contributed to her spiritual growth. Okay? And that's why we have here the High Priestess. And the High Priestess, you can traverse between dimensions. She's the holder of, she's the gatekeeper of secret, mystical, esoteric knowledge, what is known and what is still unknown. But when we talk about what is known, we're saying what can be perceived, what is logical versus what is intuitive. Okay? But the Divine Feminine now has access to both. Because she has gone on this journey and she has gone through all her challenges and gotten to the top, which is why now she's, with the help of the High Priestess, she's able to access her own abundance, and she's able to finish this phase in her ascension process. Okay? Now, let's go to her message to the Divine Masculine. Okay, I'm going to open all the cards first and take a look at them and then see what message we have. First card is the Six of Wands, and this implies a victory, success in all your endeavors. You can see she has a fish for a hat there, but these fish are golden, and they usually signify abundance, success, the completion of a certain project that has brought public recognition, really. Public recognition and accolades from others. The next card that we have here is the Page of Coins. And when the Page of Coins appears, even if normally pages relate, the coins relate to matters that are tangible, things that you can sense, feel, hold, matters that relate to 3D. When we have this page, this particular Page of Pentacles, this talks about spiritual bounty. Okay, going forward in your spiritual journey and continuing to do that. Okay, and the next card we have here is the Five of Wands, and you can see here that the wands are jutting out of the snake. And the snake, well, it's not like one of those venomous snakes, because, you know, we have the coral snake. I think that's the one that's venomous. And then we have the red banded snake, which has the same colors, but you have to be very observant on how the bands are. There's actually a nursery rhyme that talks about which one is dangerous and not, but I can't recall it at this time. But with this saying, this points to the conflict and the tension, okay, in a situation, especially as regards transformation, because during the transformation, snakes, they shed their skin, okay, and in some cultures, the shed snake skin, okay, is actually lucky. Some even put it in their wallets because it signifies new life. It signifies being replenished. Okay, so if you put, well, that's a superstition. If you put the molten skin of the snake, or the shed skin of the snake in your wallet, it's going to be replenished all the time. Okay, so it's never going to lose the contents, money, currency that's there. So anyway, so this is the tension and conflict pertaining to the transformation that is occurring for the Divine Masculines and what he is feeling. Okay, the next card we have here is the Six of Cups. And here we have a giant sperm whale. And there, the Six of Cups are held by children that are all around it. And this is connecting with childhood, with innocence, with a situation that has come back from the past. Okay, connecting with that. We'll see how all these tie up later on. Okay, okay, sorry for that interruption. Somebody just knocked. Anyway, where was I? So, okay, the next card we have here is the Queen of Swords. And here you can see the Queen of Swords looking inwardly. Her eyes are closed, but her palms are open. Okay, and here when we have the Queen of Swords, this usually pertains to looking inwardly, because there is a maturity in this introspection that can be had. Okay, and the next card that we have here is the Knight of Wands. And this is a card that talks about moving forward. You can see here the Knight, his vision reaches far off into the distance, and that is what he is pursuing, his desires, his goals, his dreams. And next we have the Wheel of Fortune, and this card really speaks about destiny. Okay, we have the three fates here, and they are weaving the threads of destiny. So what is the message of the Divine Feminine for her beloved? Basically, the Divine Feminine is assuring her beloved that, number one, there is success. There is a recognition here of the success that can be had if the Divine Masculine pursues his journey to his ultimate destiny, which would be his twin flame, his Divine Feminine. Okay? And right now, she's telling him to go ahead and keep pursuing his spiritual awakening and abundance, his spirituality, because this is a page, and a page usually is a learner, so he still has a bit more to learn. And despite the fact that this transformation is difficult for him, and can be difficult because of all the wands piercing this snake, okay, transformation will come. And she's also telling him that in this transformation he will be able to access this part of him that is pure, that is innocent, that is unburdened by everything that has pained him thus far in this transformation, because these wands are the things that he's had to heal. These are the lessons that he's had to learn along the way in this journey. But that is necessary to get back to innocence. Some might call it the 0 point field. Okay? But getting back to the basics, to himself. Because this has been a memory that has long gone for the Divine Masculine. Because he's had to go through all this, okay? And here, all those things that have caused him this conflict, it is now time to leave them behind. Because now you have here it's like the Divine Feminine is laying down different scenarios for the Divine Masculine to compare it to. Okay, he can still continue on with his life if he doesn't choose to change, but filled with inner strife and conflict, because there's that disconnect with who he really is. But then there is also this that he will be able to access once he goes inside himself and gains that spiritual maturity to look from within and see what is external, rather, from the eyes within, from looking within. I know that sounds strange, that you look at something external by looking internally, but that is necessary. Okay, and once he gets to the spiritual maturity and is able to leave those things that have been causing him pain or tension or anxiety, because he's returning to himself basically. Okay, then we have here the Knight of Wands. Divine Feminine reminding him to just keep going forward, looking forward, because here, his goal here is to get to his ultimate destiny, which would be her, coming into union with his twin flame. Okay, so words of advice there from the Divine Feminine to her beloved. Okay, so that's what I have for you. That's the message this week. And of course, Spring Equinox is 2 days out, or a day out. Yeah, on the 20th of March. But ever since the 15th, we've been pummeled by all this light energies, because the earth is being infused by it, and it'll affect you differently. And of course, I'm also curious. I talk about my personal experience regarding that in the Twin Flame Weekly video. But all this is towards transformation. And of course, for those who want to partake of the blooming blessing, I have that up on my site right now. This is a blessing dispensed by Ascended Master Amaryllis to revive and rejuvenate what has been dormant and stagnant in your life. Okay, so do check that out. It's a short meditation and a blessing in light language. It'll come in an MP3 format, and you can listen to it at any time that you feel you have the time for it. Okay, so that's what I have for you, everyone. Embrace the light, bathe in it, and I wish you a good week ahead. Okay, bye.